Hi, my name is Toni Buzzeo, and I'm a children's author. This is my writing cottage, the place where I do my creative work. But I didn't always have a writing cottage. Let me tell you the story. I live in a very beautiful place in Buxton, Maine, a farmhouse built sometime near the time of the Revolutionary War, a farmhouse with king's boards in the attic and trees all around. Inside that house, upstairs, I have a very beautiful office filled with books and treasures from each of my published stories. Unfortunately, in that office, I also run the business of being a writer. I have a computer desk that is filled with tasks. I have a writing desk that is filled with piles. I have a comfortable chair that is filled with things to do, and I can't even sit there to think. What to do, what to do. In 2008, my critique partner, Cindy Lord, acquired a writing cottage, a tiny cabin that sat in her backyard where she retreated to write, and I was jealous. Then, in January of 2010, at the Kindling Words writing retreat, I had lunch with my friend Lori Hall Sanderson. She told me about her writing cottage, and I became convinced that I needed a writing cottage too, because Lori said her writing cottage had changed her life. And I said to my waterman husband, I need one. And to his credit, he said, then let's build one. We chose a site just above the stream, and Ken got busy building the foundation while our friend Jim of Saltwater Workshop built the rafters. When the rafters were ready and the foundation was ready, the walls began to go up, and day by day I saw more and more of the cottage emerging. And as it did, I was absolutely convinced that it was too small. It was hot and dry and perfect for construction. And then came the shingling. Ken and I had agreed that we wanted beautiful cedar shakes on the bell-shaped roof of the building. Unfortunately, what neither Jim nor Ken nor I knew is that cedar shakes don't like to bend. So they hatched a plan. They filled the aluminum canoe with water and soaked the shingles for 24 hours. Then they steamed them in the canning pot, built a fixture, and baked them in the barbecue grill. The plan worked. The roof went up 160 man-hours. At last the roof was complete, and I could walk inside the door and see that the space that I was worried would be too small was in fact just the right size. As Ken and Jim set to work on the outside of the building, installing the clapboards and the finishing touches, I started to gather all of the perfect elements for the interior. By the second week in July, it was time to move in and start writing. I finished a new manuscript, I worked on a long-term project, and I thought a lot about myself and my role as a writer, a creator, and not just a businesswoman. The cottage has proven to be exactly what I needed, a place to write and dream. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, Cindy and Lori, for telling me about your writing cottages that changed your lives. Thanks for watching. You can learn more about me, my books, and my writing at tonibuzzeo.com.